I always thought our house was special, old but charming. Nestled on the outskirts of a small town, it was a quaint two-story home with ivy crawling up the brick walls and creaky wooden floors that told tales of times long past. My husband, Michael, and I moved in last summer, excited to start a new chapter of our lives in a place we could call our own. Little did we know, our home had a chapter of its own, a dark one. It started with the whispers. At first, I thought it was the wind rustling through the trees, but then I noticed the way the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end whenever I heard them. They were faint, almost inaudible, like someone softly murmuring just out of earshot. Michael dismissed it as the house settling, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more sinister at play. One night as I was lying in bed, I heard it clearly, a whisper, low and gravelly, calling my name. Emily. My heart raced and I sat up, straining to hear more. The room was dark, the only light coming from the moon filtering through the curtains. I held my breath, hoping it was just my imagination. Then I heard it again, closer this time. Emily. I nudged Michael awake, but by the time he was conscious, the whispers had stopped. He assured me it was a dream and pulled me close, his warmth and steady breathing calming my nerves. I tried to believe him, but deep down I knew something was terribly wrong. The whispers continued over the next few days, growing louder and more insistent. I began to feel a presence in the house, an oppressive weight that seemed to follow me from room to room. Shadows danced in the corners of my vision, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. One evening as I was cooking dinner, I noticed the kitchen lights flickering. I tried to ignore it, focusing on chopping vegetables, but the flickering grew more intense. Suddenly, the room was plunged into darkness. I fumbled for my phone, using its light to navigate to the fuse box. As I approached, I heard the whispers again, louder and more urgent. Emily, come. My hands trembled as I reset the fuse and the lights flickered back on. I let out a sigh of relief, but it was short-lived. As I turned to leave the basement, I saw it, a figure shrouded in shadow standing at the bottom of the stairs. Its eyes glowed a sickly yellow, and a malevolent grin stretched across its face. I screamed, and the figure vanished, leaving me shaking and breathless. I rushed upstairs to find Michael, but he was nowhere to be seen. Panic set in, and I frantically searched the house, calling his name. I found him in the living room, staring blankly at the wall. His eyes were glazed over, and he didn't respond to my touch. I shook him, begging him to snap out of it, but it was as if he was in a trance. Just as I was about to call for help, he blinked and looked at me, confusion clouding his eyes. What happened? He asked, his voice hoarse. I explained what I saw, but he dismissed it as stress and exhaustion. I wanted to believe him, but the image of the shadowy figure haunted me. That night I couldn't sleep. Every creak and groan of the house set my nerves on edge. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening for any sign of the whispers. Hours passed, and just as I was about to drift off, I heard it again. Emily, come to me. I bolted upright, my heart pounding. The whispers were coming from the hallway. I grabbed a flashlight and cautiously stepped out of the bedroom, the beam of light cutting through the darkness. The hallway was empty, but the whispers continued, leading me towards the attic. With each step, the air grew colder and the whispers grew louder. I reached the attic door, my hands shaking as I turned the knob. The door creaked open, revealing a dusty, cluttered space filled with old furniture and forgotten memories. The whispers were deafening now, filling my mind with a torrent of fear and dread. I shone the flashlight around the room, my breath visible in the frigid air. In the corner I saw it, the same shadowy figure from the basement. It was crouched over an old ornate mirror, its sickly yellow eyes fixed on me. Emily, join me. I stepped back, my mind racing. The figure moved closer, its form shifting and twisting like smoke. Desperation filled me and I clutched the flashlight tighter, swinging it wildly. The figure recoiled, hissing in pain as the light touched it. I realized then that the light was its weakness. Summoning every ounce of courage, I aimed the flashlight directly at the figure, forcing it back towards the mirror. It writhed and screamed, its form dissolving into darkness. With a final burst of light, the figure vanished and the whispers stopped. I collapsed to the floor, my body trembling with exhaustion and relief. The oppressive weight lifted and the house felt normal again. Michael found me there, and together we smashed the mirror, ensuring the demon could never return.